So here we are tonight, anti-skating on your record album or on your turntables. What is it? Is it this mythological ice skating, or what does it do for you? Well, we're going to discuss it. We're going to tell you what anti-skating is, why it's important to you, and how you can set it and check it. So stay tuned. Okay, so if you're not already bored by my commentary, I have here this older dual 1229 unit that I'm working on fixing up, and I just repaired the anti-skating on it. Anti-skating is usually located, somewhere in the back with a dial or an adjustment, and this table has been balanced for the stylus that's on it and has a Fortifon stylus cartridge on it for the moment. And you'll notice I have this smooth black disc on it. What this is this is a blank anti-skate calibration record, and it's for testing the anti-skate. What anti-skating does is whenever your turntable moves and it pulls inward naturally as it's spinning or rotating, which I'm about to demonstrate. That consistent pull, pulling in the stylus in towards the center, actually creates excessive wear on the side or the grooves of the record, and will actually wear them down and can wear them down quickly. So you want anti-skating, but you also want it to be set properly. If you have a table that has a bad anti-skate on it, it will eventually tear up a record. Most turntables have an anti-skate on them that is either spring-loaded like this one, or some of your newer modern ones will have a anti-skate that is had cable pulls with weights, things of that nature. So basically, you'll get, if you, without anti-skating, which some of your more entry-level players that are out there today that do not have anti-skate on them, will produce basically excessive wear to one of the channel loss or noise on one of your albums if not played well. So basically it helps keep your albums as they should be. I'm about to demonstrate for you, as I've already checked this table because I had to do a repair on the anti-skate disc underneath that was cracked and broken, and I had to replace it. So I'm going to demonstrate to you with no anti-skating exactly what this will do. So we're going to go ahead and take, and the way that you use one of these calibration discs is it's a blank vinyl, so it can't hurt your stylus. I'm going to set it in the middle, and you'll see that the normal rotation of this blank disc will actually pull, with no anti-skating, will actually pull the stylus in as it sets, if it sets. Okay, so I still have some other kinks I have to work out, but you'll see as this sets, and I have it dialed down to 0, that the normal rotation of this platter with the no anti-skating, you'll see we'll have a pull that will take it all the way in, and that's actually how much pull you get from the spinning of the record. It pulled it all the way in with the force is pulling it that direction. So that is what you will normally get on that amount of outer force of the stylus being pushed in by the actual spin of the record without anti-skating. And it will still stay in the groove and play your record, but that actual force of that going that direction will make the stylus ride the outer groove and cause excessive groove damage or wear to the outside of the record when playing it repeatedly. So having an anti-skate feature is good. Whenever you set your anti-skate, you normally set it, like on the scale here, to the amount of weight that your arm is being put to your stylus. They normally will match. This being an Ortofon red stylus, it's set to 1.8 grams of weight onto the stylus. So, therefore, I will take and do the dial with an elliptical direction. Make sure I'm doing the right way. To 1.75 or thereabouts. And then we will see what we get. Usually a good place to put this would be about the center of the album. And I'll drop this and see I'm going outward, so there's too much pull that way. I don't want to let it reach the inner part, so I'm going to adjust my dial and I'm going to pull it one way or the other. Too much pull makes it go out. Adjusting it in, you can see I'm going the other way. So I'm going to adjust it back out. And you want it to be where it sits and it will ride just like it is now in the middle. I have an equal amount of pull from the anti-skate, putting a counter pressure back the other way to counter the rotation so that the stylus rides into the groove evenly. So you can see, as I would adjust it one way or the other, you can see I'm going to lessen the amount of anti-skate and it goes toward the middle. If I increase it, it's coming back out towards the other direction. I don't have enough. And right here seems to be about the sweet spot. We should go back in. Which is right here. Oh, a little more. Get it to hold steady. Now, you'll notice that this was at 1.5 grams because it's not a perfect scale. And that has me floating perfectly in the center of the album without equal distance in either direction. So, when they build these tables, they built them with a guess on the scale for the spring or the weights, and then they can lose calibration or they could just not be perfect in the first place. So the only way you're really going to know if your anti-skate is even set properly is to set it with one of these calibration discs, like we just did. That is a way to test it. It is also important to know if you have a broken anti-skate, it is really going to cause you problems. It's going to basically, if you had too much spring tension on there, it's going to cause the record to skip, not track right, and it will destroy an album if it is not set properly or damaged, as this table actually was before I replaced the little spinner on the underneath. The plastic was broken or cracked. So I could turn this dial all day long, but the cracked broken piece basically had it on full anti-skate no matter what you did. So that is basically how you set anti-skating and how to check it and test it and why it's important. If you were thoroughly bored, I do apologize. If you found it interesting, then congrats. Have a good night.